Hello there. In this video we're going to look at converting to and from imperial units. And we need to know the rough equivalents, the approximate equivalents. And they are that 5 miles, that's the imperial units, are approximately, that symbol there, 8 kilometers. That's the imperial units of long distance. What about of weight? Well, 11 pounds is approximately 5 kilograms. Imperial on the left, metric on the right. And finally, what about capacity? Well, 2 gallons, that's the amount of blood in 2 average men, is roughly equivalent to 9 litres. And how do we use these equivalents? Well, let's say we wanted to convert miles to kilometres. So I want to find out what 25 miles is approximately equal to in kilometres. So let's look at my equivalents. It's 5 miles to 8 kilometres. So remember, I'm converting to kilometres. So I write down 8 kilometres. That's the amount of kilometres in my equivalents, times the new number of miles over the old number of miles. Let's make this both a fraction. You could use a calculator at this stage. I'm going to cancel by the common factor of 5 here. So I get 5 over 1. 80 times 5 is 40. When it's 1 times 1, we ignore it, so it's approximately 40 kilometres. Let's look at that again. Let's say we had 60 miles. And we're trying to find what that is in kilometres. So I write down 8 kilometres. That's the distance that came in my equivalents, times the new number of miles over the number of miles that were in the equivalents. I cancel here. 5 will go into 60 12 times and into itself once. Now multiply the numerators. 8 times 12 is 96, and there are my units, 96 kilometres. What about the other way around? Now remember our equivalents. It was 5 miles is roughly equivalent to 8 kilometres. So let's say I want to change 44 kilometres to miles. So I write down the amount of miles in my equivalents, which is 5 miles. I times it by the new number of kilometres over the number of kilometres in the equivalents, which was 8, and see if I can cancel. Yeah, I can cancel by 4 here. 4 will go into itself, into 44 11 times and into 8 twice. Multiply the numerators. 5 times 11 is 55, and the units were miles. And that should be a 1 under there. 1 times 2 is 2. So it's 55 over 2, or 27.5 miles. I say, if you're not sure, use your calculator. What about, let's look now at weight. So remember the equivalents. It was that 11 pounds, that's the imperial on the left, are approximately 5 kilograms. So I want to change 66 pounds to kilograms. So I'm trying to find, my answer should end in kilograms. So I write down the number of kilograms in my equivalents, which was 5 kilograms, times the new number of pounds, which is 66, over the number of pounds in the equivalents. Cancel. Yes, I can cancel here. Divide by 11, so I get 6. And here 1. Multiply the numerators. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 kilograms times 6 is 30 kilograms. 1 times 1 I ignore. So there's my answer, 30 kilograms. And the other way around. Let's have a look. Let's look at changing, I don't know, 40 kilograms. How many pounds is that? Well, so I write down the number of pounds in my equivalents, which is 11. I times it by the new number of kilograms, 40, over, what were the number of kilograms my equivalents? Can you remember? Yes, it was 5. Cancel? Yeah, we can. 5 will go into 48 times into itself once, and multiply 11 times 8 is 88. 11 pounds times 8 is 88 pounds. Finally, we look at one more. Remember that one? 2 gallons. Just write down the equivalents. It was 2 gallons is approximately equal to 9 litres. So let's say I want to find out what 8 gallons is in litres. So 8 gallons is approximately how many litres? So watch what I do. I write down the number of litres in my equivalents, which was 9 litres, and then times it by the new number of gallons over the number of gallons in the equivalents, and as ever I can cancel. 2 are going to 8 4 times and into 2 once. Now multiply the numerators. 9 times 4 is 36. 9 litres times 4 is 36 litres. And there's my answer. So how do we do it? To remind ourselves again, we have to remember these equivalences. 5 imperial miles is the same roughly as 8 metric kilometres. Cool, I'm struggling here. 11 imperial pounds is approximately equal to 5 metric kilograms, and 2 imperial gallons is approximately equal to 9 litres. And then we use direct proportion to find out what the equivalents are when we have different units. Okay, thank you for listening.